Are you tired of not having enough UR material to craft the cards you need to be successful on the ladder in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel? Well, in this video, I'm going to give you 5 SR cards that you can use to upgrade your deck and give yourself an advantage over your opponent. Let's get right into it.
I'ma show you how to get paper, boy. Show you how to get to that shit, stack it up real high, real high. See the hate in your eye, but I can't tell just what you hating for.
What's up, Duelist? My name is Paper YuGioh, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel video. Before I get started with this video, I just wanted to let you know that at 100 subscribers, I'm going to be doing a giveaway. It is going to be exclusively for my first 100 subscribers, so get there while you can. As I mentioned before, I'm going to be discussing in this video 5 different SR cards that you can craft to give yourself an advantage over your opponent in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. If you enjoy content like this, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so you can be notified every single time I upload a new video. Thank you so much, I love you all. Keep in mind that these are just 5 of the many SR cards that you can craft in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel that are extremely powerful. They're in no particular order, and you may agree or disagree with my list, so if you have a comment, please leave it down in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. The first card I have on this list is DD Crow. DD Crow is a hand trap that reads Quick Effect. You can discard this card to the graveyard, then target one card in your opponent's graveyard, banish that target. So this card, similar to Called by the Grave, banishes a card from the graveyard. In today's metagame, while DD Crow is not the most powerful hand trap, it does have a lot of applications. Is your opponent trying to activate Golden Lord? DD Crow it. Did your opponent activate Fogblade to revive a monster from the graveyard? DD Crow that monster. Is your opponent trying to add back Sky Striker Mobilize Engage with Kagari? DD Crow it. So if you're struggling to craft all the ultra rare hand traps like Ash Blossom and Max C, DD Crow is a good alternative. Next on my list I have another hand trap, and it's one of my personal favorites, Psiframe Gear Gamma. Gamma is a hand trap that reads, cannot be normal summon / set. Must be special summoned by a card effect. When your opponent activates a monster effect while you control no monsters, Quick Effect. You can special summon both this card from your hand and one Psiframe driver from your hand, deck, or graveyard. And if you do, negate that activation. And if you do that, destroy that monster. During the end phase, banish the face-up monsters special summoned by this effect. My favorite use of this card is how it functions as a pseudo Called by the Grave. When you activate Pot of Desires, banishing 10 to draw 2, and your opponent chains Ash Blossom to negate, you can chain Psiframe Gear Gamma and negate their Ash Blossom. Are you attempting to activate an effect to special summon a monster, and your opponent activates Max C? Hit him with the Gamma. In my experience playing Yu-Gi-Oh!, Gamma can just be a turn ender. Stopping a powerful normal summon or just waiting for something more powerful down the line can be really beneficial with this card, and that's why I recommend it at my second spot. Next on this list, I'm going to be grouping 2 similar cards together. Pot of Extravagance and Pot of Prosperity are 2 generic, powerful draw spells. In both cases, you need to be willing to sacrifice cards from your extra deck, but usually they're played in decks where that doesn't matter. Pot of Extravagance reads, at the start of your main phase 1, banish 3 or 6 random face-down cards from your extra deck face down. Draw 1 card for every 3 cards banished. For the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, you cannot draw any cards by card effects. Pot of Prosperity reads, banish 3 or 6 cards of your choice from your extra deck face down. For the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, any damage your opponent takes is halved. Also, excavate cards from the top of your deck equal to the number of cards banished. Add 1 excavated card to your hand, place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. You can only activate 1 Pot of Prosperity per turn. You cannot draw cards by card effects the turn you activate this card. Right off the bat, there are 2 big similarities between these 2 cards. In both cases, you're not going to be drawing any more cards for the rest of the turn that you activate them. Also, in both cases, you're going to be banishing either 3 or 6 cards face down from your extra deck. In the case of Prosperity, you get to choose, whereas with Pot of Extravagance, they are randomized. In decks that can play these cards, they're imperative. They're consistency cards, and they allow you to dig into your deck for your more powerful monsters and spells and traps. So if you don't use your extra deck that much, definitely consider playing these 2 cards. They're really easy to craft, and they're incredibly powerful. The next card on my list is an absolute powerhouse, and it's one of my favorite going second cards. That card is Evenly Matched. Evenly Matched reads, at the end of the battle phase, if your opponent controls more cards than you do, you can make your opponent banish cards from their field face down so they control the same number of cards as you do. If you control no cards, you can activate this card from your hand. I remember when this card came out in the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG, it entirely warped the format and changed the way that we played the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! It punishes your opponent for overcommitting to the board prior to the battle phase, so Duel Links players beware. The fact that this card banishes your opponent's field face down is so powerful. The game state won't recognize what those banished cards are, so if those cards had effects when they left the field or when they were banished, they won't proc. This card is more powerful than a card like Raigeki or Harpy's Feather Duster because it clears both monsters and back row at the same time. It's going to put a lot of pressure on your opponent and force them to make a decision about the card or cards that they're going to want to keep. Most of the time you're going to be activating this card from your hand, so at the end of the battle phase, if you control no cards, you can simply play this card from your hand. Now, Evenly Matched is a card that you control, so basically your opponent is going to have to banish cards from their field face down until they only control one card. Of course, you can just set this card and activate it in any battle phase as well, no matter how many cards you have on your field. So if you're looking for a budget card that's great at breaking boards, Evenly Matched is the card for you. Finally on this list, I'm going to be grouping two more similar cards together that I think are great in any extra deck. Those two cards are the Nightmare Brothers, Cerberus and Phoenix. Nightmare Cerberus is a card that reads, if this card is linked summoned, you can discard one card, then target one special summon monster in your opponent's main monster zone. Destroy it. Then, if this card was co-linked when this effect was activated, you can draw one card. You can only use this effect of Nightmare Cerberus once per turn. Co-linked monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. Nightmare Phoenix reads, if this card is link summoned, you can discard one card, then target one spell trap your opponent controls. Destroy it. Then, if this card was co-linked when this effect was activated, you can draw one card. You can only use this effect of Nightmare Phoenix once per turn. Co-linked monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle. The Nightmare Brothers are everyone's go-to if they're just trying to generically clear a threat on the board. But it's when you co-link these cards with other cards in the extra monster zone that their effects really start to get powerful. Having the ability to draw an extra card means that you don't lose any value based on the card that you discarded to activate their effects for cost. Also, the fact that these cards can protect from battle or card destruction makes them even better. And it's just a welcome added bonus overall. Guys, that's going to do it for my video. What do you think about the cards that I presented here today? Do you have any other SRs that you think are really important for people's decks and extra decks? Do you agree with the list of cards that I have here, or do you disagree? Let me know in the comments section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks so much for watching this video. My name is Paper YuGioh, and as always, stay getting that paper. I will see you in the next video.